안녕하세요.
Spring returned to Seoul with delicate cherry blossoms in bloom, as if the city itself was offering Ji-won and Junho a fresh start. The scandal had not vanished entirely, but its noise had dulled. Hancorp stocks rebounded. The merger held steady. And most importantly, Junho's public confession became a turning point, not just for the company, but for hearts watching across the nation. Ji-won, now enrolled in a business program, split her days between lectures and working part-time in a small design firm. She wanted to build her path, not as the CEO's wife, but as a woman who had weathered a storm and chosen to rise. And Junho respected every inch of that journey. They saw each other often, in quiet cafes, weekend strolls through hidden gardens, and stolen moments on the Hancorp rooftop. Each meeting stitched them closer, rebuilding what had been nearly torn apart. The world still stared, but they no longer flinched. One evening, Junho invited her to the very restaurant where they had once shared their first unofficial meal, this time, no disguises, no private rooms. Just two people in love. He held her hand across the table. "You taught me more about strength than any boardroom ever could. I love you, Ji-won. And I want to make you a promise that no board vote, no headline, no family member can undo." He stood, drawing a soft gasp from the diners around them, and knelt. From his pocket, he drew a velvet box, revealing a ring that shimmered with simplicity, no grand gems, just a modest diamond surrounded by two tiny sakura blossoms in gold. "Co Ji-won, will you marry me?" Her tears fell before the words came. Yes. 1,000 times, yes. Their wedding was private, a rooftop garden lit by lanterns, with close friends, loyal colleagues, and Ji-suk walking his sister down the aisle. Junho's mother did not attend, but she sent a single white lily and a note: "When love survives a storm, sometimes even mothers must surrender." Years later, Hancorp flourished under new leadership ideals. Ji-won ran her own design firm, creating minimalist architecture across Asia. And on weekends, their twin daughters ran barefoot through the cherry blossoms, while Junho chased them with a camera, laughter echoing down the path. They had defied the odds, rewritten tradition, and turned scandal into legend. Their love story was no longer whispered, it was celebrated. And in the heart of Seoul, their forever had finally begun. Rain pattered softly against the windows of the executive lounge. Inside, the atmosphere was hushed, intimate. Ji-won sat stiffly in her seat, unsure whether she was dreaming or living a scandal in real time. Across the table, Junho studied her, his fingers tracing the rim of his wine glass. "You must be wondering why I asked you here," he said. She nodded slowly. "A little, yes. I'm not sure this is appropriate." He leaned forward slightly. "You intrigue me, Miss Seo. That doesn't happen often." Her face flushed, but she forced herself to hold his gaze. "I'm just a secretary. Titles don't mean much when someone's presence alters your focus." Their conversation was interrupted by a knock. His assistant peeked in. "Apologies, sir. Your mother is on the line. She says it's urgent." Junho excused himself. Ji-won was left alone, staring at the empty chair across from her. She heard muffled voices through the glass partition. "You're embarrassing the family," his mother snapped over the phone. "This girl, she's not one of us." "I didn't realize love had pedigree requirements," Junho replied coldly. Ji-won's hands trembled as she reached for her purse. She didn't belong here. Every word outside that door confirmed it. Back in the lounge, Junho returned to find her gone. On the table, her napkin was folded neatly, and underneath it, the contract extension letter he had arranged for her. The next morning, Ji-won requested a transfer. The HR department, confused but compliant, moved her to the distribution wing. Out of sight. Out of mind. But Junho refused to let things end there. 2 days later, Ji-won stepped off the service elevator and found herself face to face with him in the warehouse corridor. "Why are you running from me?" he asked, voice low. "Because this, whatever this is, it's dangerous. For both of us." He stepped closer, the hum of machines echoing around them. "You were the first person in this entire building who looked at me like a man, not a machine. I'm not letting that go." Ji-won's heart ached with every word. But even as she turned away, she knew she'd never be the same. And neither would he. The following morning, Hancock bustled with even more intensity. Whispers passed through departments like wildfire. Some said the CEO had been spotted looking directly at a temp worker. Others claimed he actually smiled, during a meeting. These small ruptures in routine sent waves through the tight-knit corporate hierarchy. Ji-won, unaware of the growing buzz, was busy organizing archived reports in the lower-level storage room. Dusty shelves lined the dim space, and the scent of paper and time filled the air. Her mind wandered to the mysterious note. Could it really be from him? She shook her head, scolding herself for being foolish. But her heart betrayed her, it raced every time she thought of him. In the boardroom above, Junho sat silently as executives argued about a potential merger. His mind wasn't on the numbers or charts. He was thinking about the girl with steady hands and kind eyes. The door opened, and his assistant entered, whispering, "Sir, there's some chatter among the staff. About you and the temp secretary." Junho's eyes narrowed. "What kind of chatter?" "Just speculation. You know how it is." He stood and walked to the window, hands behind his back. "Monitor it. But do not interfere." Meanwhile, in the cafeteria, 2 junior employees huddled over their lunch trays. "I swear, I saw her coming out of his office. Alone. Please. She's nobody. He probably just needed coffee. Still, when has he ever even looked at someone like her?" Ji-won entered the cafeteria just as the conversation ended. The whispers stopped. The air grew heavy. She could feel the stares, the judgment. Something had changed. Back at her desk, she found a single white envelope, her contract extension. 1 more month. Her chest tightened. Was this his doing? Or just coincidence? As she tucked the envelope into her bag, her phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "Dinner. 7 p.m., Executive Lounge." HJH. She gasped softly. Her heart pounded in her ears. For a full minute, she stared at the screen, unsure whether to scream or delete the message. But when 7 p.m. arrived, Ji-won stood outside the executive lounge, nervously smoothing her blouse. Inside, Junho waited alone, expression unreadable, a glass of wine in hand. When she entered, their eyes met again, and this time, neither of them looked away. But just outside, a shadow moved quietly, listening, recording, preparing to tear them apart.
Seasons come and go, oh, our love will always grow. Through the storms and gentle rain, we'll bloom and start again. You're my eternal